No.
Rockdale Ilinden on back to Blacktown Day. Welcome everyone here to Ilinden Stadium today.
A very warm welcome to the match of the round 21 in NPL New South Wales men's competition. It's Rockdale Ilinden travelling to Blacktown City on a big day for both sides, looking to bounce back from disappointing last up performances.
Roberto Speranza, the 5, Roger Speranza. Brendan Shalakian, number 11, Lockie Constable, number 23, Hunter Elliott, and rounding out the starting 11, number 66, Matthew Cordier on the bench, number 3, Lockie Griffiths, number 9, Bay Antonio, number 15, Oliinka Sanmola, number 22, Blake Risciuto, the reserve goalkeeper, number 28, Ronan Mulgrew, number 77, So Kataoka, today's manager, Nicholas Stavroulakis. Whilst the all Blacktown City, they line up like this today. In goals, number 1, Tristan Prendergast. Number 3, Jaden Trenkowski. Number 5, Grant Lynch. Number 7, Travis Major. Number 8, Jack O'Brien. Number 10 and captain, Mario Chabau. Number 12, Tyron Burney. Number 14, Mitchell Malia. Number 16, Ben Berry. Number 18, Nicholas O'Brien. And number 23, Joey Gibbs on the bench. Number 11, Danny Choi. Number 17, Marty Fernandez. Number 19, Julian Rodriguez. Reserve keeper, number 20, Caden Henderson. Number 22, Jake Manini. And number 42, Lockie Henderson. They are coached by Mark Crittenden. Today's referee in the centre, Jake Rose. The assistant referees, Lance Greenshields and Matty Allen. And Charbel Gerhardt is your 4th official. Best of luck to both sides. gentlemen, back to Blacktown Day, your Blacktown City, and Rockdale Ilinden in this match of the round, round 21 of the New South Wales Men's Premier League.
Good afternoon, everybody. A very warm welcome to Landon Stadium for Sunday football in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. Blacktown City hosting Rockdale Ilinden, who are looking to bounce back from their record loss to Marconi on Wednesday night. And well, hasn't that loss on Wednesday changed the narrative around Rockdale's seasons? Favourites to cruise to the club's second premiership. That loss on Wednesday has set the cat amongst the pigeons. We'll see if they can turn it around today on Back to Blacktown Day here in Sydney's West. Let's take you to the team news. None of it for Blacktown City and Mark Crittenden, who are unchanged from their 2-2 draw with Wollongong last weekend. Tristan Prendergast starts in goal behind their back four of number 12 TJ Burney, number 16 Ben Berry, number 5 Grant Lynch, and number 3 Jaden Trenkowski. A midfield four for Crittenden, number 18 Nick O'Brien and number 10 the captain Mario Chabau anchoring the midfield behind number 14 Mitch Mullier and Travis Major on the right. The front two again are number 23 Joey Gibbs and their leading scorer Jack O'Brien. Well, for standing coach Nick Stavroulakis, 3 changes all in defence, unsurprising given the nature of their defeat on Wednesday. Ricardo Rizzo is brought back in after being withdrawn at half-time on Wednesday. He starts behind a back four of number 23, Hunter Elliott, in for Braden Sorge, who's out injured. Number 2, Daniel Collins returns, along with number 4, Roberto Speranza, making his first league start for the club, alongside brother number 5, Giorgio, at left-back. A midfield 4 for Rockdale as well, number 11, Lachlan Constable, number 18, Pelicanos, number 6, Isaac Danzo, and number 66, Mathieu Cordier, behind the deadly strike duo of number 10, Brendan Chalakian, and number 7, Alec Urashevsky.
16 is Ben Berry, 18 Nick O'Brien, number 23 Joey Gibbs.
So much of that focus on Rockdale. They still come into the afternoon with a 6-point buffer to second place Marconi, who were held to a draw yesterday by the lowly Sutherland Sharks. Blacktown trying to bounce back from a fairly average performance of their own against Wollongong last weekend. Mentioned Back to Blacktown Day, so there's a lot of familiar faces around the joint today, and they'll be looking to put together a strong performance for a healthy crowd that's grown here at Landon Stadium in the approach to kick-off, as well as cementing a top 6 place as the final series approaches. Big month for both sides, both drawn in the round of 32 in the Australia Cup earlier this week. Talk about that as this broadcast goes on. Alex Molchanoff along with you for the match of the round on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel this afternoon. Wherever you're joining us from around the world, a very warm welcome. Jake Rose is our referee, and he gets us underway. Rockdale in their change strip of white, red and black. Blacktown, of course, in all black home strip, kicking from left to right. And Rockdale just with a little bit of a shaky start. They need a quick one today. That would have been exactly what the conversations in the dressing room are around, as well as trying to get some confidence back into their back line. They're bolstered by Roberto Speranza. It's been taken so long for him to get fit since his move from Marconi in the off-season. He and brother Giorgio are making their first start together in Rockdale colours on the left-hand side of defence, and playing the ball between each other early here. Cordier looking to touch the ball in behind. It's been a game that's been full of intrigue and plenty of action. Rockdale will remember their last visit here fondly. They claimed to come from behind 2-1 victory. Controversial late penalty, which was dispatched by who else but Alek Urashevsky. Be looking for something of a repeat performance, although I'm sure they'd love to get the first goal of the game here just to restore some confidence. Don't expect to see results like that when a team are travelling so well as Rockdale have been so far this season. Getting on the attack here with Cordier. Searching ball to the back post. Urashevsky was thinking about the spectacular. Might get a second bite Eventually, Chalakian's brought it down, squeezed it wide, and Urashevsky couldn't force it over the line. As a handball right on the line, and a very early decision for Jake Rose here. Ben Berry it was, in front of the football, I think. Or was it a pullback? Looks to be the latter. Alek Urashevsky in conversation with referee Rose. The point was to the penalty spot, so it'll be a Rockdale strike from 11 metres. A play at the ball rather than denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, so no card. But we've already talked about the early start and the quick start that Rockdale needed. They've got it here. The deadliest striker in the competition. Might be the longest penalty run-up in the competition. He's standing next to his opposing captain, Mario Chabot, amongst a crowd of bodies along the edge of the 18-yard box. But Urashevsky scores, almost inevitably so. And after that performance on Wednesday, didn't they need that, Rockdale?
Number 7, Alek Urashevsky, Blacktown City 0.
Prendergast didn't move, and the visitors have an early lead at Landon Stadium. It's taken them less than 3 minutes. The base for a better performance, I'm sure, will be the feeling amongst the sides. And for Blacktown, they cop an early goal again, and they're going to have to play catch-up. See this a bit from Blacktown City. Nick O'Brien just launching the ball up in the air. Got a little bit too much on that one. Ricardo Rizzo will be very, very happy in goal after conceding 6 in the first half on Wednesday, that he's got a lead to defend this time around. More experienced back four in front of him as well. Blake Rasciuto was drafted in as an auxiliary centre-half. That didn't exactly go to plan. He and Lachlan Griffiths, who was removed at half-time on Wednesday, have both dropped out of the side today. And there are appeals from a boisterous Blacktown crowd for a foul, which is given. Joey Gibbs dropping deep to try and get on the ball. He and Roberto Speranza have been engaged in a couple of little individual tussles early. Stand on the near side, as I'm sure you'll hear through our effects microphones over the course of the broadcast, is close to full today, as well as the Graham Crawl bar behind us. Fantastic atmosphere and a beautiful day for football that we might not have thought we'd get in Sydney after the weather we've had over the past 48 hours. Remarkably, the sun is out and shining, and it's shining on Rockdale Ilinden early, who have scored through Alek Urashevsky from the penalty spot, his 21st of the season. He holds a 6-goal advantage in the Golden Boot race, which he looks heavy favourite to take out for the second straight season, ahead of Jack O'Brien, starting up front for Blacktown City again today. His tally at an impressive 15, and he's drawn a free kick off Matthew Cordia here. Travis Major thinking about taking it quickly, but thinks better of it. O'Brien just down, holding his ankle. He felt the force of that one from Cordia. Naughty one from the Rockdale left winger. It's been pushed further and further up the pitch this season by Paul D and Nick Stavroulakis. It's a good effect for the most part. O'Brien's ball didn't beat the first defender, who came in the form of Isaac Danzo, and Urashevsky was able to play hold up. Looking to squeeze it in behind. It's come back for Alek Urashevsky, and Chalakian just a step offside. Rounds the keeper and puts the ball in the back of the net, but not before the flag had gone up. Very experienced Lance Greenshields has the flag on the far side today. Matty Allen has recently become a FIFA badged official. It's the AR on the near side today. Sharbel Gaya did a fine job with the under-20s match which preceded this one as the fourth official. Experienced refereeing team for what is a big battle today. Jaden Trent-Koski making just his 5th appearance for Blacktown City since signing from Sydney FC's academy in the off-season. Grant Lynch needing to be moved into the middle with Lachlan Campbell still a couple of weeks away with injury. Travis Major just sneaking into an offside position himself there. Just a moment from both teams to settle after the early goal from Rockdale. Urashevsky's been faultless from the penalty spot this season, and he's kept that record intact by scoring early here today. TJ Burney's probably been the preeminent right fullback in the competition this season. His work down the right. Chalakian's got the better of him there. Nick O'Brien over to cover. Cordier, dancing feet, but turned it over. Now Joey Gibbs. Blacktown looking to hit on counter-attack. Nicely weighted ball from Chabot. This game's been played at a frantic pace early. We expected nothing less. Two teams needing the result today. Rockdale for confidence. Blacktown for their spot on the table, which is under threat from the teams behind them coming into the afternoon. They want a first round home final by finishing in the top four. Once the final series gets going, they might fancy themselves as an outside shout for the premiership as well. 9 points in arrears of Rockdale entering today. Ben Berry just looping that one forward. And his brother Adam walk into the stands. He's out with injury today. Jack O'Brien firing away after the whistle had gone for a handball. Nothing Mark Crittenden hasn't seen before. His time in charge of Blacktown City is easily the longest tenured coach of any in the NPL New South Wales men's. Took over as first grade coach back in 2011. He's taken them to 3 championships, a premiership, a Waratah Cup in that time. His teams are renowned for showing character. This is the brunt of the side that made up this club's almost most successful period during the mid-2010s when they won a fair bit of that silverware and were regular features in the FFA Cup round of 32, as it was called then. Returning to that competition for the first time in a few years this season. They've drawn a home final against an A-League club, not for the first time as well, which will be very exciting coming up in the next month or so. Rizzo clearing his lines, not immediately convincingly, but Lachlan Constable has done a beautiful job to work his way out of danger and get Rockdale going forward. Cordier with Urashevsky. Bernie's very quick, but Cordier beat him to the football. Had to stretch for it, and Chabal does the clearing. Danzo got his body in front. Giorgio Speranza keeps the attack alive. Now with Pelicanos. Matthew Cordier has been so lively early, and that ball across the face of goal was just asking for a finishing touch. Chalakian a step or two behind, but the promising early signs continuing for Rockdale. It's been their first 10 minutes. They have quietened, I'll get it out eventually, this healthy crowd here at Landon Stadium. There's a buzz around the place, but it's turned into a bit of a nervous energy given their start. In terms of the table, the two teams below them in action as well this afternoon. We'll bring you score updates from Sydney United versus St George FC, and the Western Sydney Wanderers taking on Sydney FC in the NPL version of that growing rivalry. Growing, it might be the preeminent one in Sydney football now. Huge shouts from the Blacktown supporters. Didn't like that non-decision. Jack O'Brien's being put up against a physical battle between Collins and Roberto Speranza today. Isaac Danzo tidy as ever. Less tidy touch from Cordier, which has given Blacktown a chance to try and get forward through Bernie. Touch just a little too heavy. Giorgio Speranza, of course, started his first-grade career here. It's around a decade ago now. Spoken about the importance when talking to media this week about executing the game plan, something they certainly didn't do on Wednesday. Performances earlier in the season mean that could count for little in the end, as long as they're able to keep up the form that they've shown for the majority of the year. Urashevsky so clever in getting his body in front of the way. In fact, it was Chalakian getting the better of Nick O'Brien there. And Blacktown City just not feeling they're getting the rub of the green at the moment from the referee, Jake Rose. Travis Major and Jack O'Brien making their feelings clear to him. And another set piece for Rockdale to try and get at Blacktown early in this first half. Brendan Chalakian won the free kick, and now he's standing over it. Crowd of bodies in the centre of the 18-yard box. Spinning ball in. Travis Major back doing the defending. Danzo tidy as ever. Getting the ball back. That's a misplaced pass from Hunter Elliott, though. Trenkowski is looking for Mitch Malia. It's the first time I can remember calling his name, and now Jake Rose brings us back for a foul on Trenkowski as he tried to deliver the football. Blacktown trying to get something going forward for the first time this afternoon. Not able to with that pass. An uncharacteristic error from Nick O'Brien, who offers a hand of apology. That was a pretty easy one for Matthew Cordier to pick off, really. Blacktown City winners in the first game between these two earlier in the year. That was Rockdale's first loss of the year back in round 6. Cordier finds himself adjudged offside. 3-2 win in a very entertaining encounter. Blacktown led all the way. Mitch Malia, Joey Gibbs and Travis Major, a familiar scoring trio in these parts on that day. Shabal brought down by Brendan Chalakian. Two players so similar in their attributes and leadership qualities that they bring to their sides. Sure, it won't be the first time we see them clash, or the last time rather, we see them clash this afternoon. Both wearing number 10. Prendergast, not for the first time, put under pressure by Rockdale pressing forward and just has to clear his lines. Nick O'Brien tidier in his work this time for Tyron Burney. Major had already made his run, just had to hold it up. Burney does well to work his side of throw out of all of that. Quarter of an hour gone on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Our match of the round this weekend. Alex Molchanoff with you in coverage. Pleasure to be here on what has turned into a sparkling afternoon in Sydney's West. Alec Urashevsky, perhaps unsurprisingly, the early goal scorer from the penalty spot inside 3 minutes, which has given Rockdale their lead in this fixture, which has become so crucial because of what happened on Wednesday night at Marconi. They were beaten 9-0, a record loss for the football club. Here's Giorgio Speranza. Roberto, who's making his first start for the club this afternoon. Ball forward was more in hope than anticipation, I think. Where Ben Berry's clearing header has popped it back down the other end. Rizzo yet to make a meaningful save, yet to be really called upon by Rockdale. Such has been the good nature of their start. Jack O'Brien once again getting involved in a wrestling match, really, with Isaac Danzo. It was just a sneaky arm from the Rockdale midfielder, which did enough to bring Jack off balance. Daniel Collins graced this pitch for 3 or 4 seasons after the COVID pandemic when he returned to Australia. Made the move to Rockdale midway through last season in search of more playing time, which he's certainly gotten under Paul D and Nick Stavroulakis. His presence was very noticeable on Wednesday night when he wasn't in the side for that loss to Marconi. New central defensive partnership with Roberto Speranza has started fairly well. A lot of football left to go here on this Sunday afternoon, though. Here's Jack O'Brien. He's been willing, but not particularly effective so far. That's a nice ball for Tyrone Burney. Dangerous cross, which Rizzo came for and didn't collect. Hunter Elliott cleans up the scraps. First meaningful attack for Blacktown. Trenkoski going into a heavy 50-50. That was a committed challenge from Dean Pelikanos in his first season with Rockdale after impressing so mightily with St George City last season. Captain of the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy side in his younger days. Now leading the Rockdale Ilinden midfield. Got more work to do here. Jack O'Brien turning in behind. Roberto Speranza timing his challenge. And a first Blacktown City corner of the afternoon, just shy of the 20-minute mark. And they've got tall timber to get forward, not least Ben Berry. Grant Lynch is a wily threat from these set pieces. He goes straight to the toes of the under pressure Ricardo Rizzo. It's physical pressure as much as anything at the moment. Nodded on by Hunter Elliott, who was the Rockdale defender at the front post. And the ball has stayed in play off the near side corner flag. Major retrieving it. It's a good jump from Berry. Fell for him again. O'Brien plays it wide and beaten away by Rizzo. Still danger not clear for Rockdale. Towards Berry again. Away by Giorgio Speranza. And now Mitch Malia lining up on that favoured left foot, looking to draw the whistle, which didn't come from referee Rose. And now Rockdale might be able to get out in transition. Chalakian for Urashevsky. Ball was just blocked and it all comes to nothing. But that's better from Blacktown. Applying some pressure on a nervy goalkeeper and a nervy defence. Dealt with that first foray forward fairly well. Blacktown have had the impetus in this match since going behind inside the first 5 minutes. First meaningful opportunities they've been able to generate, though. Rizzo met that one firmly and launches it out of play on the far side. And the benches are situated here at London Stadium. His keeper of some note, Ricardo Rizzo. He's spent most of his junior years with the Central Coast Mariners, where he was part of a team that's gone on to has proven to produce a number of A-League men's players. Quite a few parts of that championship winning sides over the last 2 seasons. Probably notably the midfield duo of Max Ballard and Josh Nisbet. Plenty making an impact at this level in the NPL New South Wales men's competition as well. Ball poked forward by Pelikanos, and Nick Stavroulakis is right on the edge of his area, urging his team to show a little bit more energy and enthusiasm. Certainly don't want to rest on their laurels in this early 1-0 lead. And now a little bit of an applause from the diminutive leader today. No Paul D again. Speranza lobbing that one over the top. Cordier couldn't get onto the end of it. Ben Berry striding out of defence. Nice touch from Major. Nick O'Brien, who started his first grade career as a fullback slash wingback for Mark Crittenden. Bedded himself in as one of the most reliable members of their midfield in the couple of years since making his debut. Shalakian and Shabal continuing their little battle. Shalakian drawing another blow of the referee's whistle and a free kick. It's Daniel Collins poking it wide for Elliott. Not too many white shirts inside him. Managed to find Pelicanos. Roberto for Giorgio Speranza. Blacktown had their little period. Now it's Rockdale's turn to try and dictate play. Roberto Speranza with a searching ball for Constable on the far side. Did well to make something of it, Lachlan Constable, and just keep Blacktown pegged in their own half. And Lynch with an uncharacteristically sloppy pass. I think it was intended for Mitch Malia, but only Lynch will know that. And Elliott went into the challenge with Trenkowski already on the floor, and he's got his hands to his head in disbelief that he's going to be the first name into Jake Rose's notebook this afternoon. Right in front of assistant Lance Greenshields. Had a very good view, as did Rose. First booking of the season for young Jaden Trenkowski, the 22-year-old. And it offers Rockdale another attacking set piece. A second goal here would give Blacktown some mountain to climb. Chalakian entrusted with the duties of sending it in again. It's towards Oraszewski. Trenkowski defending the free kick, which he conceded. Second ball in, and did very well to direct that ball on target, did Daniel Collins. Laying out to crane his neck and get the ball on target. Fairly easy to handle for Prendergast in the end. Shabau, probably the most space he's seen all afternoon to this point. Now Nick O'Brien. Malia making the run forwards. Stops to go back square to his captain. Lynch. Rockdale have been a lot more diligent in their defensive duties so far this afternoon. See them all in behind the ball once Blacktown had taken their time playing out. Shabal, the conductor, looking for Major, cut out by Giorgio Speranza. And again Shabal and Shalakian battling in the midfield. Well done by Nick O'Brien, who draws the advantage as well, but Blacktown really haven't made the most of it. Hunter Elliott trying to win another free kick on that far side. Mitch Malia a little bit more wily, making sure he didn't make any contact and give Rockdale a free way out. Elliott flying into another challenge. Jack O'Brien's just not been able to get on the ball whatsoever. In fact, that was Gibbs going into that challenge. They've won the ball up high, though, and Tyrone Burney's made his way forward from right back again, as he loves to do. Shabau only picked out his old teammate Collins. Almost returned the ball to him. Shabau growing in influence. Twisting and turning his way past defenders and forcing Giorgio Speranza into dragging him down. A little bit more confidence and encouragement flowing from the stands. Been a good 10 minutes that Blacktown have been able to, and now Jack O'Brien's got to be very careful here. Dean Pelicanos just knocked the ball off his spot, and then he decided to go up and grab the back of his shirt. I don't know what all that was about. Matty Allen was watching it all on the near side, so She has a word with Jake Rose, and I think Jack O'Brien's going to find himself booked here. Pelicano's knocked the ball off the spot. In fact, he's the man that's being talked to by referee Rose. No discussion with O'Brien. Still those two exchanging words. Just 3 in the wall for Ricardo Rizzo from the resulting free kick. The gorgeous left foot of Mitch Marley is standing over the ball. Whether he goes for goal or tries to find a player in the middle, I think it'll be the prior rather than the latter. It's Malia over the wall and beaten away by Rizzo, who watched it all the way. Wasn't taking any chances by trying to catch it. Happy to just thump it behind and trust in his defence. Marley has been around the periphery of this game so far. Can he be the man to unpick the lock of the Rockdale defence? It's a very good ball in. Collins again doing the clearing. Rashevsky with a loose touch. Shabao didn't quite catch it as sweetly as we know he can from range. Seen him score a number of goals from distance over the years, Mario Shabao. Everything for Rizzo so far has been fairly regulation. Wouldn't a clean sheet go down well at Rockdale this afternoon? Malia and Major have swapped flanks, and that's giving Malia a lot more influence. Lovely throw for Jack O'Brien. It's eventually going to reach Major on the far side. Playing it back for Jaden Tredkowski. Major again, ducking into that right foot. Stooping to clear was Collins, who's been superb on his return to the starting side after missing the game on Wednesday. Opening half hour belongs to Rockdale, but they've edged it. Certainly not been anything like a dominating display, but looked fairly secure at the back to this point. Bernie might try and change that. His cross was deflected by Roberto Speranza over in cover. Made it fairly simple for Rizzo to claim. Speranza for Matthew Cordio was another one of those pulled off at halftime on Wednesday nights. Made a very bright start to this game. Acrobatics to keep the ball in play, and it's worked out very nicely because Rockdale have won the throw. Cordier's got a highest ever goal return so far this year with his 4. Playing higher up the pitch, causing more problems for opposition defences. Certainly having Alek Rashevsky there as a player that so many teams have to base their defensive plans around has given him more space. Chalakian, such a wily operator in behind. Quite remarkably, over his more than decade-long career now at this level, Brendan Chalakian still only won that one grand final back in 2017 with Manly United. Searching for a second here this season with top of the table Rockdale. They still are. Lot said after that game on Wednesday, but the fact of the matter is they're still 6 points clear. As things stand, they'll be 9 points clear if it ends like this today. And Urashevsky's off the shoulder. He's 1-on-1. Right on the edge of his area was Prendergast, who judged it to perfection. And I don't even think had to handle. He used his thigh to save. Every bit of the experience that Tristan Prendergast has in his goalkeeping body of work came to fruition there, staring down the league's top goal scorer and denying him. Big moments in the first half. Perhaps a momentum swinger that might just go Blacktown's way. Urashevsky granted far too much space. We know how deadly he is getting off the shoulder of defences, but Ben Berry had given him a good 5 or 10 yards there after the turnover in midfield. And once he's away, there's no catching him. Very good save from Prendergast to Bailey side out. Still one of the best goalkeepers in the competition as he approaches his 30th birthday. Cordier. He and Bernie have had a good little scrap down this near side. Bernie wins out this time with Cordier not able to keep the ball in play. Chabot and Chalakian almost combined at the hip. And Malia caught napping. Clever ball from Chalakian. Prendergast alive to the danger again. Malia just cutting under Chalakian as he looked to jump for the ball right in front of the referee. I don't think there was any question that the decision was going to be made. Protest from the Blacktown City supporters is unsurprising. I think he got that exactly right though, Jake Rose. There's something growing into the game. Players trying to protect the space against opposition, trying to jump for footballs. Puts the player in the air in a very dangerous position. You want to reward players going for the football rather than trying to play their opponents. Increase in referees giving free kicks for situations like that. Collins playing that one over the top. Cordier has been the outlet down this left-hand side, but his influence has been negated pretty well by TJ Burney in this first half. Joey Gibbs has hardly had a touch up front, and that was not his best piece of work. Giorgio Speranza striding past players, looking for Rashevsky. Gee, hasn't he just got a magnet in that boot? How on earth did he even go close to bringing that down? Speranza stayed forward, very commanding over the shorter Chalakian, but it's come straight back to the Rockdale number 10, and then Nick O'Brien stretching to try and win the ball, and that has really upset not only the Rockdale fans, but the Blacktown supporters. O'Brien had hit the deck, and he was second to the football, which he might have got a touch on, but Chalakian had got his body in the way, and wins his side another free kick in a promising area. Chalakian has stayed down. Jack O'Brien again involved in some words after the fact with his former teammate Daniel Collins this time. Still their conversation continues. A wry smile from the Rockdale centre half. Rashevsky, who is a known worker of referees, over to just have a word with Jake Rose. As the captain, it is his job. Nick O'Brien, the second Blacktown City player booked in this first half. Follows Jaden Trenkowski into referee Rose's notebook. He's had a bit of work to do in this first half. It's been a game that's had a physicality bubbling under the surface of it, amongst some pretty good football from both sides. It's been an engaging watch as we approach half-time here. Rockdale still sitting on the one-goal lead given to them by Alek Rashevsky inside 3 minutes from the penalty spot. And Chalakian, having received treatment, is okay to get to his feet and try and launch another raid on Blacktown's goal. Physicality continuing inside the box, perhaps unsurprisingly. 4 or 5 to aim for. Pelikanos had front spot. Rashevsky trying to work a shooting opportunity on his less favoured right foot. That doesn't mean it's ineffective. Now there's appeals for handball and given by Jake Rose. From Blacktown's perspective, their bad luck continues, but Joey Gibbs had a very guilty look towards the referee as soon as the ball struck him. Just got caught on his heels a little bit, the Blacktown City striker, who'd come back to lend a hand defensively and has conceded a second penalty kick of this first half. Rashevsky is not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. Went to Prendergast's right the first time around. Will he go the same way? He blasts it down the middle and doubles Rockdale's leads. A more emphatic finish this time around, but it's the same result, and Blacktown City are right in a hole here just before half-time. Two penalties right inside their 6-yard area. Scrambling defence has turned into desperate defence with disastrous consequences. And for Rockdale Ilinden, who needed the quick start, they've got that and more. They've got a 2-goal lead to protect. Goodness me, there is plenty happening off the ball around the restart. Urashevsky and Jack O'Brien tangling. O'Brien's been in the centre of a lot of these little fracas in the first half. Jake Rose is calling both players over for a conversation. It was more of a telling off. And Shabao again waiting. It's his side who trail. Need to get things going again. Blacktown City, they've still got 7 minutes of regular time to try and find an equaliser in this first half. Roberto Speranza has been near faultless at the back in his first start for Rockdale Ilinden in the league. Lynch just dumping Urashevsky over and then blocking the attempt to restart play. It's another yellow card for Blacktown City, their 4th of the first half. It has been an ill-disciplined display from the hosts, uncharacteristically so. Drawn into the frustration and some of the gamesmanship from Rockdale, you have to say. But the visitors have kept their cool better than their hosts. There can be no doubting that. Hoisted high by Prendergast, and now Travis Major is going to be one of the key influences here. A man who's seen situations like this all before at this ground and has the power to turn the game, but has to find himself a more central figure in the back half of it. Pick up from Lance Greenshields on the far side was that Lachlan Constable had returned from an offside position. Ben Berry for Burney. Probably Blacktown's best in the first half, all things considered. Nick O'Brien. Wide for Trenkoski. Oh, now a worrying sign for Rockdale, if indeed it is serious. Alec Urashevsky is down just inside Rockdale's half. See if he returns to his feet if Rockdale are able to win the ball back, but he's got his hands to his head here, the Rockdale skipper. Not good. We'll keep an eye on that as this play develops. Jack O'Brien's taken up a wide position. Shabao. Urashevsky's back to his feet, but with a noticeable limp. And certainly not closing down Blacktown's backline with his usual vivaciousness. And down he goes again. Lynch. Blacktown City supporters are unimpressed, and Blacktown City certainly aren't stopping their foray forward to see to the well-being of the Rockdale skipper. Why would they, with this 2-goal deficit staring them in the face? Lynch now stops play as I think Nick Stavroulakis was in his ear. And the Ilinden skipper, who has scored both goals so far this afternoon from the penalty spot, is needing medical treatment. Heart in mouth moment for Ilinden fans. We'll bring you the update from around the grounds, as our ground announcer Will Gottis is doing at the same time. Sydney United 58 and St George FC are yet to find a goal between them out at Enza Park, and the Western Sydney Wanderers trailing by 2-0 to Sydney FC. Not far down the road from here. That is a big result for Blacktown City in terms of the teams chasing them coming into the afternoon. Currently sitting fourth. Blacktown City coming into the afternoon, 38 points. Wollongong Wolves are the team just outside the top six on 33. And now Blacktown are less than impressed with the way in which Rockdale have elected to give them the ball back, which was by launching it out for a throw. Rishevsky has rejoined this. Again, he's still not moving completely freely. Here's Ben Berry. It's given Blacktown more space to try and play out as Rockdale get back into their shape. Nick O'Brien. Got terrific ball-playing ability. And how about that to pick out Trenkowski. Malia and Majors unmarked! A major moment for Blacktown City's main man. And he's turned up the opportunity. Afforded far too much space from Rockdale's perspective. And they've got a big let-off there. City's all-time leading goal scorer unable to halve the deficit. Unable to even force Rizzo into a save as the defence converged to try and block the shot. Don't know how much Travis Major actually had to aim at by the time he struck that ball, but he would have expected himself to do far better. But Blacktown are looking lively. As they approach the end of this first half, they probably don't want the whistle to go at the moment. Really had the ascendancy. That's Ruben Oratife down there playing ball boy. Just strolling around, I think, to get back to the change rooms for half time. And ball bounced into his arms. Here's Lynch. Blacktown's search for an all-important goal before the break. Athletic header from Hunter Elliott, who had to launch himself to make contact. Trying to play their way out Rockdale, and that's all fallen down in a bad area. Jack O'Brien looking to line up. Not quite the bend he was looking for, but the chances starting to come in a flurry for Blacktown City. Rizzo's still only been forced into one meaningful save. Alex Molchanov with you on the Football New South Wales YouTube page this afternoon. A delight to be with you for what has been a thoroughly engaging first half. Both goals to Rockdale Ilinden scored by their captain, Alek Rishevsky, his 21st and 22nd of the league campaign. After scoring 26 last season to take out the Golden Boot, he's on track to do that again. But he has pulled up gingerly, and it could be a major storyline of the afternoon as it wears on. It'll be interesting to see if he's back out for the second half. Chabogea indicating 2 minutes to be added on. It'll be time that Rockdale Ilinden are just looking to wind down, probably searching for the sanctity of the dressing room at the moment. Given how the last 10 minutes or so since that second goal has gone, Blacktown City have put in their best 10-minute period of the match so far. No reward on the scoreboard for them yet, though. Constable. Look at the energy of Lockie Constable tracking down Mitch Malia and forcing him out of play. Malia has not had the influence that Blacktown are looking to get from him. You could probably say the same of Travis Major. Jack O'Brien's thrown himself about, but he's not been able to get on the ball in forward positions enough, I'm sure, for Mark Crittenden's liking in this first half. A little bit to address. Perhaps a little bit unfortunate to have the 2 penalty kicks awarded against them, the first of those inside the first 3 minutes, but Rockdale are deserved leaders. Constable juggling it around players. Trenkoski got a boot in. His less favoured right swung to clear it. Giorgio Speranza pressing in from the left wing to win the ball back. They just can't get out now, Blacktown City. Collins playing head tennis with Trenkoski. Pelikanos gets involved. Lovely touch for Chalakian, who turned beautifully. Constable's got space to try and pick a player in white out. Urashevsky stretching, and his touch might have actually put off Pelikanos in the end. Blacktown City supporters driving their team forward. One last chance perhaps before the break. Roberto Speranza in the way. He and Collins have looked very comfortable as the new look centre-half pairing for Baldy and Nick Stavroulakis. Nick O'Brien wide for TJ Burney. And his ball draws a slicing clearance. And there will be time for one last corner for the hosts. Malia rushes over to take it. Plenty committed forward. Every Rockdale player back defending this corner. Away by Constable initially, only as far as Shabao. Malia to deliver again, and Rizzo cool in coming to claim. A tidy goalkeeping performance, and a big congratulations from his teammates who know the importance of that first half clean sheet for the young goalkeeper. The emphasis on a very strong first half performance from the league leaders after that thumping loss on Wednesday night. Just what the doctor ordered for them. They head to the sheds, courtesy of 2 Alek Urashevsky penalties, ahead by 2-0. Welcome back to Landon Stadium, the second half of this round 21 clash between Rockdale Ilinden and Blacktown City about to get underway. The visitors leading 2-0 courtesy of 2 penalties from the league's leading scorer Alek Urashevsky in the first half, who was struggling with what looked like an ankle problem towards the end of the first half, but he has returned to the pitch for the second half. No changes at half-time for either side. Blacktown City needing a response as Mario Chabal hesitates again over a kickoff, but we are back underway. Maybe just allowing a couple of his teammates to run forward and try and retrieve that ball. What response do Mark Crittenden's men have? Front four largely ineffective thanks to a much improved defensive display from Rockdale Ilinden in the first half. A largely reshaped back four. They've got an early attack to defend here. Hunter Elliott turned past initially by Malia and then recovering to concede the throw. Trenkowski takes it quickly. Mitch Marley is full of fire in the second half and chopped down by Hunter Elliott. It was a hesitant whistle from referee Jake Rose, but it eventually came. He had a good hard look at it. Challenge from behind, didn't get any of the ball, and Blacktown have started this second half just as they needed to, on the front foot. Needing a goal. There's plenty of threats up there, not least Travis Major. Joey Gibbs has floated in towards the back post. Ben Berry and Grant Lynch forward from the back. And Rockdale again, defending this 2-goal lead, have everyone back inside the penalty area. O'Brien swinging it in, Daniel Collins attacking it. Lynch keeping it alive, Major, Gibbs! It took a deflection on the way through, and another Blacktown City set piece. Frantic start to this second half. Just 90 seconds into it, Rizzo swung and missed, and then there's a couple of Blacktown players and Rockdale players down. And the ball trickles behind for a goal kick. Blacktown City fans, I mentioned it a couple of times in the first half, there's a healthy crowd here at Landon Stadium for Return to Blacktown Day. It's not been the start they were hoping for, but they're invigorated by their side start to the second half. Ricardo Rizzo looking for a confidence boost after conceding 6 in the first half on Wednesday night. He's managed to keep his sheet clean to this point. There'll be renewed endeavour from Blacktown in their second 45 minutes. Joey Gibbs already looking more alert and alive up front. But it's been this new defensive partnership for Stavroulakis and Paul D that's been effective in the opening stages of this game. Roberto Speranza returning from a second ACL injury. It's taken him till round 21 to make his first start for Rockdale Ilinden after making the move from Marconi with his brother Giorgio in the off-season. 2 legends of NPL New South Wales men's football. Been around for more than a decade, both of them now. Lynch stepping in, another of those experienced campaigners on the Blacktown City side of things. Hunter Elliott is rather fresher to NPL New South Wales men's football, really only his second full season. Already did enough in his first with Manly United to secure a move across town to Rockdale. Lynch stepping in, beautifully timed from the futsal Roo, who's striding forward now in an attacking role. Jack O'Brien. He was looking to feed Major. They've just been on a slightly different page, those two. Major had a big chance just before half-time to halve the deficit. Wasn't able to keep his shot on target. Only one other save of note that I can recall off the top of my head from Rizzo in the first half. And Rockdale will continue to threaten in transition, which Blacktown City have to be alive to if they're to get back into this game. That's got to be as much as a focus as what is happening further up the field as they chase this game. Lovely work from Dean Pelikanos. Now needs to get rid of it, which he does. Isaac Dunzo. And Rockdale have managed to work an attacking throw. Blacktown City didn't feel they got the rub of the green. Can understand that feeling, having conceded 2 penalty kicks in the first half, but I have to say Jake Rose has controlled the game well. And it's had some thunder underneath the technical quality that's been shown from both teams. And Rockdale have managed to work themselves an attacking corner for the first time in this second half. Updates from elsewhere. A couple of concurrent fixtures alongside this one this afternoon. Sydney United 58 and St George FC still locked at 0-0. Sydney FC leading the Academy derby against the Western Sydney Wanderers by 2-0 out at Wanderers Football Park down the road. Ball in from Chalakian was a, well, rare one, you have to say, that didn't beat the first defender. He was so impressive in the first half, just getting his body in the way on several free kicks, just through sheer smarts. He's had the better of the Blacktown backline to this point. Roberto Speranza prodding it forward, didn't reach anyone in white. Those new to the NPL New South Wales men's. Rockdale in their change strip today. Usually playing in black and red stripes. Exciting times for both these football clubs, both headed for Waratah Cup semi-finals in the coming weeks, both at home. Blacktown City set to take on Apia Leichhardt. That'll be a big fixture here in a few weeks' time. Rockdale Ilinden looking to reach their first ever Waratah Cup final. They host Spirit FC down at the Ilinden Sports Centre. All four of those teams participating in the Australia Cup round of 32 as well. Some good draws amongst those fixtures, including for these two. Hunter Elliott getting back to knock the ball behind for a corner kick. Blacktown City keeping their momentum flowing from the early stages of this second half. Crowd is still in fine voice. Jack O'Brien over to take another corner, which will swing in towards Ricardo Rizzo. Over his head, Major kept it alive. Cordier away far enough, and then Constable with something more agricultural, but effective. Rockdale have to be careful they don't get drawn into just defending this 2-goal lead. Blacktown City have too much quality just to sit on the advantage that they've given themselves. Ball players like Grant Lynch at the back and Nick O'Brien who can unpick a defence. That's not even mentioning Mario Chabau, but Lynch loose playing out to the left, not for the first time this afternoon, and Hunter Elliott is striding forward with the football. Urashevsky dropping deep. Lovely ball square for Danzo. And Urashevsky again. Looking to play provider this time. Commanding header from Ben Berry. Loves to win those balls in the air at the back. Giorgio Speranza trying to work a shooting opportunity. It's fallen for Brendan Chalakian! And a very good save from Prendergast. Without him, Blacktown's mire might be even deeper. Made a very good save from Urashevsky, 1-on-1 in the first half, and he was alive to the solid strike at his near post this time to tap it behind. Another Rockdale corner. And so Chalakian, who won it, is over to take it. Mitch Malia, the only Blacktown City player high up the pitch, trying to play as a release, but it's defensive duties that Blacktown have to get done first. Major did well to win the initial header. Trenkowski couldn't clear his lines. Urashevsky having more of a role in build-up play in this second half, which is not something you often say about the Rockdale Ilinden skipper. Chalakian you certainly do, and his bending ball never really looked a danger of finding Roberto Speranza, who was his target. Trenkowski on the back foot, and Danzo just sweeping in front of his defence. Mentioned in the first half, Rockdale won on their last visit here in 2023. It's been 2 wins to Blacktown City in these fixtures since, winning both their last 2 fixtures at the Ilinden Sports Centre. Jack O'Brien on the score sheet back in 2023. He's lining up here Had Rizzo diving away to his right, but the ball scuttled wide of his post. And a comment from the crowd in front of me is that Blacktown are just warming up. It's taken them nearly an hour, but it's starting to come their way. And a change for Crittenden, his first of the afternoon. The dancing feet of Martin Fernandez about to join us if they are to make it now. No, Crittenden's changing. It looks as though he's taken off. Yes, just a little change of the board there from the fourth official, Charbel Gayhart. So Grant Lynch going to left back. Nick O'Brien slotting into the centre of defence alongside Ben Berry. And it's Jen Trenkowski who's making way for Marty Fernandez. One of those along with Esperanzas, who's spent his last few seasons at Marconi before making the off-season move to Blacktown City. Scored a spectacular goal at this ground for Marconi a couple of years ago. He's got 3 goals since his move over. It's another one of a few Western Sydney Wanderers Academy products out there for both sides today. And Fernandez getting his body in front, and his first influence is a winning one. Nicking a free kick off Isaac Danzo, who was a little sloppy. And now Fernandez has stayed forward, found by Chabal. Marty Fernandez! Deflected up, but not out. Headed back centrally by Major and hoisted away by Danzo in the nick of time. Rockdale's defence holding up again as we approach the hour mark. Well read by O'Brien, but then turned over. Rashevsky without any white shirts ahead of him, really. Just scrapping it out of danger as much as he was forward. Beautiful ball from Prendergast, right onto the head of Fernandez, who might have done a little more with it. Rashevsky sneaking around. Nick O'Brien's got his work cut out for him. Rashevsky's moved straight out to his side, unsurprisingly. Cordier forward from left wing this time. So used to combining his name with left fullback. Because he's not one of those anymore. Was it Rockdale Ilinden anyway? He and Bernie have had a running battle down Blacktown City's right flank. Rockdale's left. And Brendan Chalakian's got another chance from a corner. Blacktown City have struggled with these, considered 2 penalties so far from these situations. This time the whistle goes, but it's in favour of the hosts, who take it quickly. And you already see the running power of Marty Fernandez is making a difference. He doesn't mind the tricks and flicks either. Trying to link up with Marley, or a throw will do. Lynch. For Chabal, wearing the captain's armband again today. Switches the angle of attack. It's TJ Burney running at Cordier this time, and his touch betrays him. Cordier back in that defensive role that he occupied for so long for Sydney Olympic. And he stays there. Solid piece of defensive work. Burney's not had the freedom he usually does down that right-hand side today. He's made all the effort to get up and down. The kilometres on his GPS will be ticking up and up, but yet to find that telling ball that we're so used to seeing from him. Just his second full season in senior football, broke into the first team just before their grand final win in 2022 against Manly United. Was key in the run home for them that season. Has been ever present for Mark Crittenden since the Blacktown Junior. Bit of a wrestling match going on in the middle again, involving Jack O'Brien. Referee Rose not seeing fit to blow the whistle, and Blacktown City will take the throw in right on halfway. Lynch, a cry of attack comes forward from the fans. Malia. Oh, he did Hunter Elliott there. How's the ball? Not bad. Oh, it's just looking Travis Major. Deflected off Rizzo, deflected off Giorgio Speranza, and behind for a Blacktown City corner. Another chance, not quite snatched up by Travis Major. Came to him at a very awkward height this time. He managed to get a shot away, but Rockdale's scramble defence has been as impressive as I've seen it. Now a second ball has found its way on, which means the set piece routine has been scuppered. And looking for it again, but pursued by Chalakian this time, so the ball goes direct. Danzo has been so diligent defensively today. He's a player known for his ball-playing work, really, but been a very effective screen along with Dean Pelikanos in front of the Blacktown City attack today. And then a bad turnover from Shabao, and Urashevsky's got the wrong side of Bernie here. A couple of names forward to aim for. Nick O'Brien timed his intervention to perfection on Matteo Cordier, and now Major's going the other way. Head start in the foot race. Two old timers, two old heads in Major and Roberto Speranza. Giorgio coming in now, and Fernandez taking up the attack. No free kick. Pace of this game has been unrelenting. Both teams trying to drive the tempo and play attacking football. It's been a phenomenal watch, and we've still got half an hour left to go. Don't move anywhere. And a crunching challenge which upset Shabao. I think we're going to see a first Rockdale Ilinden name in the book, yeah. Giorgio Speranza is the man. So joins the four Blacktown City players from the first half in Jake Rose's notebook. Third yellow card of the season for Giorgio. Not one renowned for crunching tackles, but he can certainly throw himself about as he did there. Shabao certainly felt the force. He's back to his feet, and that's Chalakian, wearing 10 for Rockdale, has done a number of times this afternoon. He wins the free kick, and he's up to take it. Blacktown looking to halve the deficit. Swinging ball, not really dealt with. Malia, and then Major again came at him so quickly that it was impossible to react. Belted away into the bushes on the far side. But Blacktown keeping the tempo rolling. A quick throw. Ben Berry with his defensive partner at the moment in Nick O'Brien. Berry striding in a long way forward, but it's a loose pass. Olliott keeps it from going out of play. You see the futsal technique of the futsal Rug. Lynch then. The way he flicked that up for Malia. Rockdale players wanted a, well, Blacktown supporters wanted a handball rather. And Collins thinking better of going back to his goalkeeper and manages to fashion a throw. This is a big result for Rockdale if they are able to hang on. Still a long way to go. Just under half an hour. Host Hills United down at the Ilinden Sports Centre before a tough run of games. They've got Informed Spirit, Sydney United, Sydney Olympic and RPL Leichhardt over the next month. None of those are gimmies. Urashevsky falling on the football and grabbing it, anticipating the whistle. Shabao had little complaints. He knew. Urashevsky continuing to play antagonist, but he's having the last laugh at the moment. His 21st and 22nd goals of the league campaign. See Rockdale with this 2-0 lead. Both goals from the penalty spot in the first half. Point as well for the Blacktown City fans that you can get the New South Wales NPL Kickoff podcast is available now. Your man Jack O'Brien featuring on that with Teo Pellizzari. Available every month via wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Get an update from across the New South Wales football competitions, League One men's and NPL New South Wales women's featuring on that as well. Siobhan Edwards featuring this week from the NPL New South Wales women's competition as Fernandez gets his head to that. And a well-known name across the NPL New South Wales. Chris Payne featuring this week as well. And second lease on life with Bankstown City in League One, who are well poised to be right in the race for promotion back to this level of football for the first time in near a decade. Just search NPL New South Wales Kickoff, and that podcast will appear for you to enjoy. Along with all our social media, NPL New South Wales is the handle across Instagram, X and Facebook, so wherever you're looking you'll be able to find highlights, match reports, and the great work of our social media team who are featuring this match of the round today. So you'll be able to see all the good work that Jude Dolan's done behind the scenes. You can see him capturing this one as Brendan Chalakian moves in to deliver towards the back post. Ben Berry got his head on it, and Urashevsky will be happy to watch that one over the touchline for another throw. Sun setting over Landon Stadium. Picturesque ground at this time of day. Matty Allen just having a word with the Rockdale players, very aware that time wasting could well be a factor now. Rich Malia steps into the challenge. It'll happen again. You can see how cold it is still here today. It's around 14 degrees as we sit here. Chalakian to the byline, and Prendergast again having to stoop down and make a sharp save. Prevent that ball from being tapped in. Blacktown City have just given up some of the impetus that they'd gathered back for themselves after the break. Game has hit a bit of a lull, which will suit Rockdale, I should say, just nicely. Blacktown are going to find a way to get the pace back into this one. So look to hold on to fourth spot. At the moment they'll do so anyway with the results that are happening concurrently. Sydney United 58 still locked at 0-0 with St George, and Sydney FC have taken a 3-0 lead over the Wanderers out there now, so it takes some sort of collapse for them to fall out of that one. That's going to be a crucial result for the young Sky Blues, who are right in the midst of a relegation battle. Big 3 points for them against their rivals, and a sloppy bit of play from Roberto Speranza, who took down Joey Gibbs as he was making his run forward off the ball. Spotted by the officials. Perhaps something that Blacktown City can base themselves from here. Fernandez. For Jack O'Brien, who's drifted out wide. He's covered every inch of the AstroTurf down both ends, looking to become more involved in the game, but Blacktown City have just not been able to find him consistently enough across the 67 minutes or so we've played here. Urashevsky growing in influence, if that's possible. Danzo looking to feed him. He's got off the shoulder of Ben Berry and beats him to the ball, looking to duck back inside. Berry got a foot in and won the goal kick. Nick O'Brien for Grant Lynch. Ben Berry. Well, that's a pass you associate more with his brother Adam than Ben. Wasn't quite on the money. Kind of Rizzo's picked up a cap amongst all that, with the sun getting lower. And now he's just chosen to put the ball out of play. Not the first Rockdale player that's gone down for treatment this afternoon. This time it's Mathieu Cordier right near the bench, which will limit at the time that they're able to wind down. In fact, Jake Rose just pointing to his watch as he made his way over there. Would be a makeshift team talk for Nick Stavroulakis, whose side have responded so beautifully to that loss in midweek. Weren't expecting a repeat performance. You don't from the league leaders. You don't expect the first up one, but the response has certainly been admirable today. It's been a renewed not had the answer to this point. Cordier has made his way off, so Rockdale down to 10 for the moment, but Grant Lynch will give the ball back. Fire a goal kick. There's been a bit of animosity between the two teams in the way that they've gone about giving the ball back to others in these sort of situations. A little bit of a breather for both sets of players. Can Blacktown find a second wind here? Rockdale have looked comfortable in their advantage over the last 10 minutes or so. That doesn't mean this game is anywhere near over. Headed forward by Lynch, returned by his old defensive partner, Daniel Collins. Both part of the team that started the 2022 grand final against Manly United, I should say. Bernie chasing down what was a lost cause, but it's been quick enough to win his side the throw. Berry again with another direct ball. Bernie stayed forward after taking the throw, and it's beautifully worked by Giorgio Speranza. Didn't need to touch it, just protected out of play. Still yet to make a substitution, Rockdale Ilinden. Why would they? With the way this game is tracking. Plenty of experience on the bench for them. They do look to go that way. By Antonio's been such a key part of their growth over the past couple of years since, well, the past few years really, since that premiership win in the COVID season of 2020. Rockdale looking for a first championship since back in 1984. Thought they had a pretty good opportunity to finish top last season. Took Apia Leichhardt all the way to the final day. But they're the favourites as things sit, with just a couple of months of the season left to play. And that status as favourites will be reinstated if they're able to hang on to this 2-0 lead today. At the home of one of their closest rivals in Blacktown City as well. How about that touch from Mitchell Malia to work his way past Elliott. Just get the fans involved. Gibbs was nearly there, and there's a big appeal for handball, and now it's given by Jake Rose. 3 penalties, all awarded down that end of the field. The protest from Pelicanos draw a yellow card. It took a while for Jake Rose. I think he might have just been having a conversation with the earpiece with Lance Greenshields, the experienced assistant on the far side. Between them, they come to a penalty kick as the decision. Much to the pleasure of the Blacktown City supporters. Rockdale continuing their protest both with Greenshields and Rose, but they're going to fall on deaf ears. And now Ricardo Rizzo has his chance to play hero. Clean sheet intact so far after what was a really massive disaster on Wednesday. Steps up against Blacktown City's all-time leading goal scorer. He spent a couple of opportunities this afternoon, Travis Major. Sits on 6 for the season. Does Blacktown's number 7. Facing up with Ricardo Rizzo and scoring. It's game on again at Landon Stadium. 3 penalties, all converted. And the third puts Blacktown City back in the game. So often the catalyst of comebacks over his career in black, Travis Major. And he strikes again at a critical moment. Now how do Rockdale match up, face up? Have they got the bottle to hang on to this lead with even more pressure that's about to come their way? The changes have proved fruitful eventually for Mark Crittenden. Strong from Dean Pelikanos in midfield. He's not to be affected by that moment that's gone against he and Rockdale. Hunter Elliott striding on, getting the better of Malia. Facing up to Lynch. Couldn't beat him, but won the throw. And Rockdale will once again look to take the vigour out of the crowd and a little bit of time off the clock. They've just been waiting for something to cheer this afternoon, the Blacktown City supporters. They've finally got their moment. Very well, this direct route from Ben Berry has not worked so far this afternoon. Look away in disgust from his coach, Mark Crittenden. Might have worn that same uniform for the approaching 400 games he's taken charge of as the boss of Blacktown City's first grade side. Immediately identifiable with a black cap and striding around the technical area. With renewed hope now, Mitch Malia. Hasn't he made a terrific return to football? Had to go away for almost experimental surgery in the off-season, thinking that his days playing high-level football were over. Needed bone fusion at his foot. Managed to get back to full fitness. Urashevsky turning the defence inside and out and striking the post. That close to a hat-trick, Alec Urashevsky, and that probably would have been the dagger that killed off Blacktown City. The post comes to Prendergast's save, or Prendergast's rescue, I should say. Goodness me. He can just make something out of nothing, Alec Urashevsky. That's the danger he offers, as if Blacktown City needed a reminder. Now they've got a chance of their own. The throw travels all the way through to Ricardo Rizzo now. And he's had some afters with Joey Gibbs. Not the brightest moment from the Rockdale keeper. Particularly because the ball was still in play. I think. And now a substitution is going to take some air out of all of that. No, it had gone behind, so it's a goal kick. So a penalty couldn't have been awarded if it had stayed in play. There would have been a decision to make there for Jake Rose. After a little coming together between Gibbs and the Ilinden goalkeeper. So, two substitutions for
Double substitution for
Nick Stavroulakis.
Giorgio Speranza.
Giorgio Speranza has put in a fine performance at left full back today. To be taken
11,
off.
Lachlan Constable.
Lachlan Constable is going to be the other man
by Antonio.
taken off by Antonio, making his way onto the field.
Sunmola.
And the flashing feet of Olayinka Sunmola. It's an attacking sub from Stavroulakis. With his team already holding the lead, Cordier goes to left back, so that's pleasant cover to have for the Rockdale Ilinden boss today. But the move is a more attacking one. Perhaps a tad of a surprise. Blacktown City have the momentum. Have they got the class to find a second goal behind what has been a fairly impenetrable Rockdale Ilinden defence so far today? So Mola's fresh legs winning out over Shabao. Cool as ever, Dean Pelikanos, if he brought the ball out of midfield. Urashevsky's cross was deflected. Berry heading clear. Fernandez has come all the way back to try and run the ball out of danger. That's exactly what he's done. Wanted the free kick, it wasn't forthcoming. Danzo brings it back the other way. Urashevsky timed his run. Not too many white shirts joining him, so he has to hold it up. Danzo! Whiskers away from a third for Rockdale, but still Blacktown are in with a hope. Probably a little wider than it looked from this angle. The class of Isaac Danzo, and certainly the curl he can put on a football, it was a chance. Didn't worry Prendergast overly in the end, though. Major. I said he'd need to grow an influence in this second half. He's got the goal from the penalty spot. His touch let him down a little there, but Blacktown City have got it back. Berry. For the City legend, Travis Major again. Ball for Elliott to deal with, and a hand was used. It was right on the edge of the penalty area. So just a free kick, but a third booking of this second half for Rockdale Ilinden. We're almost square there. 7 yellow cards handed out by Jake Rose this afternoon. It was an awkward one. Just came at almost hip height for Elliott, which meant he had to make a decision between whether to go with his thigh or his foot. The ball was upon him before he could make that decision. So the arm was out. And now a chance for Blacktown to try and get this equaliser. It would be a big blow to Rockdale if they were able to get it. Daniel Collins has just gone back to almost lend the referee a helping hand. He's happy enough with the 10 yards. So there's 5 in the wall, 6 in the wall for Ricardo Rizzo, along with 1 behind the wall, the draft excluder as it's called. Gibbs tried to go around it. Bernie didn't catch it as he was trying to. And there's some happier cheers from the Rockdale or the Rockdale fans, sparse though they are, and have taken up position behind the goal of Ricardo Rizzo. Haven't had much to cheer in the second half, but there'll be plenty to hang their hats on if they're able to hold on for all 3 points here. Mark Crittenden is now starting to get more and more frustrated with how long Rockdale are taking over their restarts, and that's not the best clearance from Rizzo. And another double sub coming from Rockdale. So look to see out this game. Blake Rasciuto is easily identifiable with that long curly hair.
City Football Club, a big thank you for your attendance today to back to Blacktown, past players, staff, and also our regular fans. A big thank you.
That's going to be So Kataoka, a Japanese midfielder, who's going to come on replacing Chalakian. So both midfielders in that 2 have been replaced. Danzo, the lone remaining of the 3 that started the game for Rockdale Ilinden. Rasciuto in his more accustomed role rather than as a makeshift centre-half as he was on Wednesday night. Dangerous ball launched in by Major. Not completely clear by Rockdale. Malia on his right foot. Gibbs! Stretching and inches away from being able to redirect that one on target. So clever, Mitch Malia, the way he's able to turn in those tight areas. Not his favoured one, he's right, Mitch Malia, but there's still plenty of quality in it, as we saw there.
22, Blake Rasciuto.
Half a yard from finding its target. So what impact will the changes make here for Rockdale Ilinden? Rasciuto is one who's more defensively minded, but certainly put himself about. He's got a couple of goals this year since returning from overseas. And Jack O'Brien getting his body in the way by Antonio. Not too disappointed about giving away the free kick. Blacktown City won't be too disappointed that they've got another set piece to send in a dangerous position. O'Brien's been through, Jack O'Brien that is, has been through the wars this afternoon without any reward yet. An assist would be nice. Plenty of black shirts to aim for in there. High line kept by Rockdale. Now they drop, flicked on by Major. Fairly simple save for Rizzo. He's come under pressure in this second half, the young goalkeeper, but he stood up to it. Only the penalty from Major beating him. Shouts increasing from a desperate Blacktown home crowd. Urashevsky dropping deeper and deeper just to try and keep the momentum going Rockdale's way. Risciuto uncompromising on Shabao, just halting the momentum again. Shabao looking to get it started as quickly as possible. Bernie not picked up. Cordier had it all in front of him and timed his challenge to perfection, striding the other way. Beautifully timed challenge from Shabao. Caught Cordier on the shin on its way through, on his way through. He's been outstanding today down the left, Mathieu Cordier. Slow in returning to his feet. But his win got Rockdale out of their own half. They've got just under 5 minutes to see out for the most critical 3 points of their season yet. As it was when they visited here last year, trailing 1-0. Their title prospects on the line. They managed to turn that around. Risciuto, one of the Rockdale favourites over so many years. Just doing enough to get his side going forward again. Urashevsky's not showing too much interest in taking the throw. Cordier hopping and skipping his way towards the throw. Rockdale have it down the right end. Urashevsky burning his back. Cordier's touch was heavy and not touched by Bernie on its way back through. And it's a Blacktown City substitution which has halted play here. And now Crittenden's keen to just hold it for a little bit longer, is he? No. Ben Berry to be removed.
Substitution for Blacktown
and Julian
City.
Rodriguez is his replacement. So now a back three for Crittenden. Really a five-man attacking lineup with the youngster Rodriguez joining Major and Gibbs and Fernandez and Malia. Flicked on by O'Brien, who's almost come back into a midfield position as the numbers have flowed forwards. And Mola doing his best to keep it in play, but was always second favourite. And Samola's going to go in the book here. It's the second time in a matter of moments he's delayed the restart. Nick O'Brien. Switch of play, which Major read better than Cordier. Retreating was Antonio, and his fresh legs have come in very handy for Ilinden. Urashevsky just turning away from a couple of challenges, kept the ball in play, which will take a couple more seconds off the clock. Straight back forward from Blacktown. Shabao, Antonio in there again. He and Risciuto tangling, and the free kick goes Rockdale's way. Shabao, none best pleased, but Rockdale just doing everything they can to hang on here now. Another substitution from the visitors. Looks as though it's going to be Lockie Griffiths. Just an added defensive head. One of those that was part of the 9-0 on Wednesday. He saw out the 90 minutes, and Alek Urashevsky, who Rockdale can thank for their lead. 2 goals, both from the penalty spot. Leads the Golden Boot race by 7 goals now. Quite remarkable. The preeminent forward in this competition for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Now, Major had an arm out there. And Rose is conferring with his assistant on the near side, and now the free kick has been given Rockdale's way. Certainly an arm was struck there as Major was retreating to try and cover, but time is running out now for Blacktown. Antonio for Danzo, and the air's gone out of the building a little bit. Fans sensing that an equaliser is unlikely. Chabal hooking it forwards again. This suits Rockdale just nicely. Rashuto battling for it, nicked off him by Bernie. In fact, there was Major back there, but Fernandez's pass is loose again, and Rockdale can just eat more precious seconds off the ticking clock. Just a question of how much longer they'll have to see out now, which we're about to get from the fourth official. Rashuto playing it into a crowd of Blacktown bodies, and this time it's Marty Fernandez's hands that the ball has struck.
5 minutes time added on.
You just heard it through the PA system. 5 minutes for Blacktown to try and find an equaliser, at least. Rockdale just happy to keep it up this end. Danzo looking for Rashuto, cut out by Nick O'Brien. Lovely touch from Fernandez, but then he got into a tangle with his own teammate. St. Mola and Danzo both in pursuit. Clever touch from Nick O'Brien. Gibbs beaten to it. Beautifully timed challenge from Griffiths. Rashuto lining up. Prendergast maybe with a dive for safety rather than anticipation, but made sure he saw the ball wide. Nick O'Brien driving it forward. Hunter Elliott returning it on his head. And Kataoka beat Lynch to the football. On the call from Roberto Speranza, who's been terrific in his return from a second ACL injury in the heart of Rockdale's defence today. The man they paid for is coming at a critical moment for them in their season and led a terrific defensive effort in this second half. So it's just minutes to go, but they've got to make sure they see it out, Rockdale. Hoisted away by Griffiths, returned by Chabal. Griffiths again with a header. Danzo for Kataoka, wanted it back off Rashuto, it didn't come his way. Chabal allowed to turn, Jack O'Brien with space to run into, it's what he loves to do. Malia, players lining up, dangerous ball, Griffiths stooping to clear. Can only put it behind for a Blacktown City corner. Malia's half a mind to take it quickly, but they've provided enough threat from taking them direct here this afternoon. O'Brien doesn't waste any time. Rizzo under pressure again, got enough on it that time. Rodriguez's touch, in by Bernie, flicked on by Lynch. Still there for Malia. Jack O'Brien's ball in, Major lurking. And they just couldn't get a body to it, Blacktown. Prendergast has ventured into Rockdale's half of the field. Got it away from the press of Antonio. Young Julian Rodriguez chasing it down, but just too overzealous, and Griffiths had front position. And now Roberto Speranza is down. Claiming cramp, which you suspect could be a real injury rather than a contrived one, considering the 12 months or so he's had off. Jake Rose will be adding every one of these seconds on. He's back to his feet. The younger, I should say, of the two Speranza brothers. Ricardo Rizzo's already received a couple of warnings about how slow he's been to take these, so waste no time once the whistle went. It's drifted out of play. Tyron Burney needs a ball. Now it comes. Cordier almost back into his bench, who are waiting there to delay as much time out of the restart as they can. Couldn't get their hands on the ball there, so Chabal's just allowed to run away from St. Mola. Rodriguez. Lynch. Long. One in the air by Kataoka. He's been so lively since coming on. Every 50-50 is drawing appeals from Blacktown City supporters now. Lovely feet from Fernandez. Bernie. Major looking to give him the return. Beats Rashuto to the football, but he's been backed into the corner. Couldn't get away from Blake Rashuto. Experience winning out there for Rockdale, and they're almost there. Rizzo waiting every second they're allowed again. Prosciutto and Lynch go up. That's a little battle that's happened plenty of times over the years. Elliott just hoisting it out of play. Jake Rose just took a little look at his watch, but there's still time for a couple more attacks, I think, yet. Elliott has positioned himself so beautifully, so many times this afternoon for a young player. And Simbolo's got fresh legs, can just stride forwards. Chabal working as hard as ever to win it back. Will it be in vain? Lynch. Malia into Elliott. And the final whistle has beaten Blacktown City. The two penalty kicks, enough for Rockdale Ilinden in the first half. They bounced back from that defeat on Wednesday night in emphatic fashion. A battling performance in the second half as Blacktown put raid after raid together but couldn't find the equaliser. And Rockdale move 9 points clear at the top of the NPL New South Wales table. It's been a pleasure to bring you the match of the round from Landon Stadium on this Sunday evening. Make sure you stick around for the slate of NPL women's fixtures that are coming up, where you found this one on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. We are signing off here from Landon Stadium, where Rockdale have got a critical victory in their chase for an historic second premiership. It has finished. Blacktown City 1, Rockdale Ilinden 2.